Welcome to Americana. These are short presentations of American trivia, could be fun quizzes, pictures, stuff, all about the US of A. And so I've entitled this, Remember When? Let's go back a few years and reminisce a little bit on a few slides that make up our presentation. Well, do you remember the supermarkets, not just the corner store where you went down and got your groceries, but when they opened up big. And they had aisles and they had carts you pushed and they had lines. Did you stand in the line? Do you remember S&H green stamps or maybe top value stamps were added? Just a couple things to jog your memory. Going along with the supermarket, the shopping centers, big shopping centers, the prelude to the malls became dynamic. And this picture is all about phoning from your car. Do you remember that? Way before there was drive-up bank tellers and McDonald's had a drive-through. I mean, decades. You could drive up and you could dial and talk to somebody from your car. This goes back just a little bit further. Notice how much a shoe shine is, 10 cents. And notice the hot dog cart, the Franks, and you could get some cold drinks. Look at the gentleman pulling up, and it looks like the passenger could do the ordering. And these were very big items. Someone could make a living with their hot dog and their drink cart. And then as I was looking like this, or not looking like this, looking at this, I was thinking, did I look like this? The point was, I don't see the one my mother gave me the instructions and gave me the money to walk down to the barber shop and get my hair cut. I got a Princeton. Or when the summer came, I got a Butch. The Butch was you just weren't going to come back again that summer for a haircut. And so cut it short. It's hot. You're more comfortable. Then school time, I got the Princeton, and I'm trying to remember. I just used the word. I remember it was really cool with Kooky on 77 Sunset Strip. And his comb. So does that bring back memories? My question is, gentlemen, which one of these did you have? And ladies, which one did your boyfriends have? Then talking about the ladies, you remember the Kennedys? And one trendsetter that came out of this was Jackie Kennedy. And of course, it just wasn't the dress ensemble and the jacket. It was the pillbox hat. I remember going to church and everybody had them on. Oh, and then summertime. I remember summertime well. You played in the streets and the drivers knew you were there. You could play stickball. In this case, just grab a handful of chalk and go at it and do some artwork. If a car came along that beeped, as you can see, this is a one-way street, so you just had to watch one direction, supposedly. 1948, Los Angeles traffic jam. Notice the one-way streets both direction, but down the middle, in this case, came the trolley. Look at all the electrical lines. And look at the trolley tracks. There's actually 4 of them that you can see. And do you remember lining up for Castor Oil once a week? And then, did it get hot in the summer times? This was one of the first air-conditioned cars, and in order to sell it, they would run around with their little placard on the top, and they would stop the dealers and let you jump in, and you could, the driver would take you around the block in air-conditioned style. I sort of think these three people maybe don't believe it. A 1944 football game. Look at the rolled up jeans. 1950, the year I was born. I could buy a brand new Nash Tudor car for a little under $1,400. Notice the Dodge pickup at the bottom, just 2 years old. You could buy it for $800. Now, I know back then that was a lot of money, but I'm looking at that, and there's the dealership and things that they had for sale back in 5% down, 36 months. Well, that's all that I ever lived with, and if I buy a car today, that's the most I would ever finance it for. I hear you can go 6-7 years on a vehicle now. And do you remember going inside the department store? And you didn't have to come out. They could feed you at lunchtime. I'm just looking at some of the sandwiches. Sliced ham sandwich, 10 cents. Limeade, a nickel. Remember when? 1953, new subdivisions opened. They were cookie cutter houses. And they just leveled everything. You don't see any trees, do you? And they leveled everything and just started putting in the streets, the sidewalks, the driveways, and they kept everything closed. You see the telephone poles running back behind the back-to-back houses, the small backyards? But everybody could own a home. And then there was the grand opening. People would buy them and they would wait until it was done. And then they signified you can move in on this date. That's when the subdivision opened. And everybody moved in. Remember the mail carrier with his pedal bike? So he got to pick up the drive-up mailboxes. He'd unlock it and it'd pour in his slot, and then he'd shove it shut. And he rode around with the mailbox. 1946, homework time. And let me close with Daytona Beach in the 1950s. Yes, they drove their cars down onto the beach. No problem. Everyone was mannered. And that's how they sold Daytona Beach. Lots of people, lots of cars, and wonderful sand, water, an incredible place. I'm so glad I live in Florida. Thank you for watching Americana. We'll do another one soon. And hope that helped you a little bit. Did you remember when?